we went on a Time for Marriage weekend and thought, wow, I wish we'd done this years before. And it wasn't that there was any, drastic issue to be solved, but it was just such a great place to find time for one another and to sort of, go back to basics. And it's had a lasting impact on us and our relationship.
There are a number of things we really loved about being on the Time for Marriage weekend. I think foremost, having time together, just us. I know we were with other couples, but there was a lot of time that was just for us. And that was just so valuable. We've got children, life's hectic, life's busy. Everybody lives a busy life. Nobody doesn't have a busy life anymore. So, finding time is always a big challenge, but we found the time, we got someone to have our kids, and that was brilliant. But also in terms of actually being there on the weekend, I think something that was really important for us was that reminder to pray together. We grab time to pray together, sometimes just before we go to sleep, or we'll pray about something that's come up, and we try now to make a point of praying on a more regular basis.
I think one of the things I like most about the marriage weekend was actually there was a celebration of things that are good in our marriage. It wasn't a kind of, right, let's go on a weekend that's going to look for problems. It wasn't that at all. It was kind of saying, this is how God intended marriage to be. And we were able to celebrate ways in which we felt our marriage was reflecting that. So it was a time that was uplifting. It wasn't a time that was in any way judgmental. So you came away with such a positive sense of time well invested, and it built one's confidence as opposed to making one think, oh, have I fulfilled the checklist? Is everything going okay? Yeah, my marriage is just about all right, it ticks the boxes. So it was a really positive weekend.
Very affirming, wasn't it? I think it's come on everybody, go on one of these courses. What are you waiting for? Don't think that if your marriage is just ticking along, that therefore you don't need to do it. It's not a question of I need this. It's a question of this will be so edifying for you and your partner, and a way of just making sure that God is right in the midst of it all, and that's got to be fundamental to a good marriage.
One of the key lasting effects it's had on our marriage the weekend is that we definitely make more of an effort to pray together and spend time together and sort of read the Bible together. And I would say we don't spend a lot of time doing that, and we'd love to do more, but it's certainly something where the weekend helped us raise that priority and have that as part of our sort of daily and weekly routine. So that's definitely made a difference to our relationship.
I just so want for everybody to have the best marriage possible, and Jesus talks about life to the full, and that means marriage to the full as well. It's not just an okay one, and I think that is my kind of message and excitement about Time for Marriage. Have the best marriage, and the way to do that is Jesus in the middle.
I would also say something that has impacted us and we've stayed with us since doing the weekend and being involved with Time for Marriage is just their core message of what a redeemed marriage is. Actually saying, okay, this is marriage as God intended it, but this is the consequence of us living in a fallen world where things don't go right. But actually, let's set our goals high. Let's aim for the best and what God wanted, and let's see how we can sort of engage with God to get there. And that's a really exciting message, and it's a message that I think we hardly ever hear at church. And I think, why not? So many people in churches are married, so this is such a relevant message for all, and it's just not heard much. So that the principle of Time for Marriage and the weekends, what is a redeemed marriage? If you don't know, you need to go on one.